On Friday here, there was a very frightening moment. This is turn 4. The driver is Patrick Carpentier. Look at him catch the lip of the edge of the gravel trap, goes airborne, literally bounces off the tire barrier, and pirouettes over the wall. The good news in all of this, despite heavy damage to the race car, is that Patrick Carpentier is all right. He's starting the race today, and they've made some changes to the gravel pits all around the track because of that. In qualifying, we had a most unusual circumstance. During the final qualifying, lost control through the gravel pit and flipped upside down. He, though, still has the pole. His teammate, Helio Castroneves, is outside of the front row. Oh!
Big crash in the back, guys. Big crash. Car upside down.
That Gidley, that's a very fast section of the track coming back under the bridge. It's about 145-mile-an-hour left-hander.
That can be an incredibly dangerous point on this course.
Oh, absolutely. You come out of Canada in third gear, you accelerate up to 145 miles an hour in that left-hander up over that bridge. And if you got together with someone there, that is just, I mean, that is just a horrible, awful place to get off. Fortunately, you can see they've got tire barriers up against where the impact occurred, and then there's runoff past it.
20 are left in the tank, 18 are left to go in the race. Consider motivation. Pappas, Gidley, neither one with an apparent ride next year.
Oh! Looks like Oriol Servia.
Watch carefully. We don't see any movement yet. And Mauricio Guzman also involved off the edge of the course. Moving his head, appears to be okay.
As you said, Paul, the great danger of open wheel racing is wheel-to-wheel contact. Car digs in.
Improve his ride is Buddy Lazier. We've got a crash. Let's go upstairs.
A big crash. Terrible crash. Out of turn number 4, and here on the main straightaway, it involves many, many cars. I can see as many as 7 or 8 cars involved in this accident.
Two cars just got together. They were too wide. Looked like two cars got together. Couldn't tell whether it was...
That's Buell hitting a wall right there, very hard.
It looked like Mears got together with somebody there and started that. Everybody else kind of in the back trying to run through the debris and just running into each other.
That's Corey Witherill there in the middle of things, too. Wow. Here it is from another angle. Just a tremendous amount of fire there initially.
Yeah, that's Corey Witherill right there, who gets nailed a couple of times in that bright orange car.
And it looks like that Dr. Jack Miller might have been involved in the accident also.
What a move by Bruno Junqueira, and we have a huge accident on the front straightaway. Several cars have come together, and the track is blocked. There it is.
Big accident. We saw cars flipping right in front of us as they came by.
Red
It's
flag.
going to be a red flag. Jimmy Vasser.
Jimmy Vasser's car upside down. Andretti coming to his aid.
Carpentier. Here comes Tagliani.
There's Tora Takagi's
Horrible
machine.
crash.
Here's another replay from our host broadcasters, Channel 10. Oh, Dominguez, the last car to arrive on the scene, scattering cars everywhere.
Just a battering ram.
Mario Andretti actually climbed into a car for Tony Kanaan to test it just before the month of May started. This was in the South Chute with Mario.
There again, that white piece of material he runs over right there is a piece from a car that Kenny Brackett crashed just a little bit earlier. It sends the car up, going into the air. It actually acts like an airplane. He's hitting the top of the fence right there, which holds him inside the park, lands on the ground right side up, thankfully for Mario. He had just turned a lap of 225 miles an hour.
Tribute to the engineers, the designers, and the crews that these cars are so incredibly safe.
Castroneves did not have an opportunity to draft by, and Jill DeFerrin did a perfect job.
Whoa! Dan Weldon takes Sam Hornish all the way down toward the graph.
That won't be something that Brian Beinhardt...
Wow!
Yeah.
And Weldon upside down.
this changes the whole complex of the race. Paul, we're going to have another restart. Dan Weldon is a lucky guy. See, there he goes. Amazing the safety of these cars and the safer wall that the IRL has committed to. They're the leader in technology and safety, Paul.
And this is going to set the stage for an interesting end of the race. Not that it wasn't going to be.
Just entering into the turn a little bit low, got into the wall, got some air underneath the front of the car, just like Mario Andretti did back in April when he was testing here for his son's team, Michael. Get a little bit of a wiggle right mid-turn.
You're sliding along and looking at the pavement from way over. Oh, man.
Hear the reaction from the crowd at the same time. That was a hit at over 200 miles an hour, Paul. Probably about 210 or 15 miles an hour. When, as you mentioned, Paul, he needs the bad luck for Dixon to fall back to make this all happen. And he's got to be thinking inside his cockpit right now. Inside his helmet.
Big crash! Major incident. Kenny Breck getting way high up into the fence.
Here is the replay of what happened. Breck on the high side of Thomas Schechter down the backstretch. At the end of the backstretch, there's the contact, and Breck's car up into the wall, virtually splitting in half. And here is the shot now from the end of the backstretch. It's a crash very reminiscent of Davey Hamilton's accident here a few years ago, in which he sustained very severe leg damage. The catch fence keeping the car contained inside the racetrack, but still resulting in a lot of damage to the car. Hopefully no, at least life-threatening injuries to Kenny Breck.
Renna was turning his first laps for his new team, Target Chip Ganassi Racing, when he crashed in turn 3 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The incident happened just 20 minutes into a tire test session. A Speedway spokesperson would not discuss details of the crash, but witnesses say the car went airborne, shattering the car. Over the next couple of days, the Indy Racing League will evaluate the wreckage and the team's telemetry to determine what caused the crash. Renna was a veteran of 7 IRL races. His best finish was last year at Michigan, where he finished 4th while subbing for Al Unser Jr. This year, he finished 7th in his only Indy 500.
Canard started to go on the high side. He's been down on the bottom all day long. Probably wanted to see if his car would work up top. I think Rice surprised him, Paul.
Yeah, both of them, though, kept it under control. Oh, and this time, no. That's Rice upside down on the backstretch. He flipped up, got the car sideways. It got nose higher in the air.
Hey, buddy, can you hear us there?
Car is not even stopped, Paul, and the safety crew is on the scene.
And there's Buddy. Whoa! Buddy Rice is okay. Buddy Rice just pops up and out of the car.
As we watch from the rear section here right now, you can see that Buddy, being on the right-hand side, just started to bring the car down to protect that inside line and ended up connecting with Darren Manning. On the low side, making some great ground up there, and see how quickly he was going and catching up to that group. That is an incredible shot.
In slow motion now, we can see the gearbox lying in the middle. There's debris everywhere at the track. Were you able to see that, or just did you not see it and able to move in time?
I did see it, but the thing that was really screwing me up as far as that goes is one of his half shafts that came out, and it's basically a 2-foot long piece of straight steel, and it was cartwheeling down the track, and it's probably just a little bit to the right of that on that picture. And I figured if I hit that with the front wing or the wheel or whatever, it can shoot it right back at. So I figured that was the lesser of the two evils, is to hit that other piece and hope that it didn't do much damage. But obviously it looked a little bit worse than it actually was.
And Dario Franchitti, we've got a big yellow coming into turn 4. All kinds of debris, and it's the 33, the back end. That is Ryan Briscoe.
What a ride that was. Remember we had last year with Buddy Rice getting airborne coming out of turn 2 when they touched wheels. And here's the situation. Briscoe going underneath.
Oh,
Barron
my
trying to come
word.
down on the racetrack. They both are going for the same piece of real estate. And what ends up happening is those rubber tires touch, and then all of a sudden the car starts to go in the air. Remember, we're going 215 miles an hour.
Coming back down the front straightaway, and once again, the Firestone Indy 300 of Japan is green. Oh, no, and immediately another crash, and up and over. And that is the 17 of Jeff Simmons for the second time. It looked like P.J. Chesson got things started. That's Scott Sharp weaving his way through. My, oh my, we don't even get past the start-finish line. All right, let's take another look. Watching the back part of your screen, coming out of the corner. Right there is P.J. Chesson.
And it's Sharp, number 8, actually. The back end starts to come around. The other drivers react. And as you can see, everybody just starts to react from the situation. Simmons up over the back of the number 8 Delphi car, which has its wing knocked off.
And in Monterrey, Mexico, they put that behind them. Great day for Catherine Legg. Dan Clark wants to salvage. She crashed. Oh, huge crash. Huge crash. Oh, no. Huge incident. Huge incident.
It's Catherine.
Is it Catherine Legg's car? The PKV car number 20. Lots of shrapnel on the racetrack. Full course yellow. Huge crash. The safety team from Champ Car quickly on the scene.
It is a flat-out blinder. Watch up here.
She's already off the track.
She left the track, and then the car cleared up into the fence. Now, watch, the engine breaks off of the car. That's the engine right here.
And the tub dispelling some of the energy. The wheels coming off.
The best thing for a racing driver in a crash is that the bits begin to break off the racing car. You are held in the carbon fiber tub, which is the cocoon, which is your safety net, if you like.
Of the ability of his car.
Goes around the slower traffic of Sarah Fisher. Jack, what's going on?
Well,
oh, no, another crash, and it's upside down. We've got a car upside down. It's Marco Andretti. 2 cars at least involved in this. Buddy Rice as well. Buddy was taken out last year in a crash with Elio. This year, a crash with Marco.
Wow. And that's some damage also to Dan Weldon's car, probably the first car that he went across in front of. Remember, we saw Dan Weldon's car in the pit lane being repaired. Now, here we go now. He's cutting across, just touches Dan Weldon's car. That's on the right-hand side. Breaks Dan Weldon's left front suspension. Dan Weldon goes off to the left-hand side very quickly.
And it looks like Franchitti's strategy as you take a look from Marco. And you see from his onboard.
Whoa. Up and over. And as you said, Rusty, good reason to get out of the car very slowly.
Well, I started to say good, and upside down is Marco again. Marco Andretti upside down the second time of the year for Marco. He was upside down at Indianapolis. We started to say it was a good, clean start, then some bumping, and you see he's trying to push himself out of there, and there's no way he's going to get out till they roll that car over.
That one wasn't a good angle. So.
When you say it was Tony's fault, from what perspective?
Not in terms of doing anything wrong. He just lost control, looks like. Lit him up, and Marco was just a victim.
One lap in Iowa. And this is, well, she finished 3rd at Texas. But this is probably as racy as we've seen her since Texas.
Oh, and here comes
a car upside down, flying upside down. And that's Franchitti. 3, 4, 5 cars involved.
Franchitti, Weldon, Dixon, and Schechter. And it looked like that touching were.
Dixon is coming over. Weldon's coming over to make sure he's okay. Look at the dirt on top of his helmet. Look at the helmet all scuffed up. There's Dixon over there to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, he just went
There's
up.
Hornish.
Well, you can't tell exactly whether he moved down or whether it was pretty much what we saw before. Right here's where he was really lucky. That car turned over just in time, because if Dixon had run into him when he was completely upside down, this could have been a much, much worse accident.
Car.
And let's take a look here from a little different angle. See, from that
Patrick. What a view she had. In a row after the checkered flag.
Wow.
So Franchitti tears up another one, and this is after the checkered flag flew, and he finished in 8th, and he gets tangled up with Matsuura, who's a lap off the pace.
Wow. Franchitti went from a really good day to a really bad day in about 20 laps. Unbelievable.
Let's see what happens here.
Oh!
Again, upside down, again.
Oh, my
Franchitti,
gosh.
2 weeks in a row, upside down as he ran over the back of Matsuura. An incredible 2-week run for this Scotsman.
And down toward 1, Matsuura gets clear out of the throttle. Franchitti, I don't know whether he didn't see him or just couldn't get stopped, but look at this thing. You can see the racetrack.
Incredible, Larry. We talked about Marco, how many times the drivers got upside down in one season, twice in one season. He's done it twice in 2 races back-to-back. And this is after the checkered flag.
Unbelievable.
The primary car that they brought here went up into the corner and across a bump, and the next thing you know, a rear suspension failed. And it sent Dan Weldon hurtling into the safer barrier, but that was okay until he hit the grass, slipping and sliding down the infield, and that flipped the car over and took care of the other 3 corners of that race car. It was totally destroyed. Weldon will be driving today with his throttle foot severely bruised, but he went out and qualified, and he has turned only 6 laps in the car that he'll drive here. Now, yesterday they didn't have the full setup in it. I talked to Barry Wanzer, and he said, we've put the full setup in now. So, hey, I'll tell you what, Vince Welch, look for Dan Weldon to come to the front.